Welcome back, YouTube, to another Outcome Reach video. My name is Jelfi Torres, and today I'm going to be going over how to properly manage your time in trading around your 9 to 5 job. So this video will pretty much sum up when you should focus the majority of your time when it comes to trading, when it comes to observing the Forex market, when it comes to looking for entries and such. And this is subject to where you are in the world. So just please bear in mind that this may not be suitable for everyone. Okay. So what I wanted to go over was pretty much where you see the most volatility coming into the market. So here you can see pretty much three different colors or four. Red is Asian, blue is London. The gold is the overlap between London and New York, and New York is the orange. So I just want you guys to keep in mind the length of these boxes. So where do you tend to see the market moving the most when it comes to Euro USD, right? It seems to be the case that it's between London and New York, right? Most of the time it's New York. So that means if you are living in Eastern time zone, then that means for you that for you to catch those optimal trade entries, you would have to be up at either 3 in the morning or 7 in the morning. I would recommend just waking up maybe like, or not waking up, but like prepping for trading at least I would say an hour or an hour and a half before the session changes. The reason why is that liquidity or sorry, volume enters the market a little bit before, meaning there's some type of manipulation move that clears liquidity and then goes the intended direction wherever the institutions or banks would like to take price, right? So let's look at an example here. So we're looking at Euro USD in the 1 hour. This is July 21st, right? So please excuse that these are flickering, but essentially this is July 21st. This is all one day. As you can see, we've been consolidating Asian session. We come to London, there's a lack of volume in the market. And then when you see that the optimal time to trade, which I believe is between London and New York, you see this manipulation move that comes to clear the liquidity of both support and resistance traders and breakout traders that were looking to short, right? Short the market here, or even possibly buy around here, because as you can see, it pushed price up, then pushed it down. So it probably hit the stop losses of both support and resistance traders and breakout traders. And you can see that after New York session started, market started pushing up with a lot of volume. Okay. So I went from like let's say 1.44 all the way to 1.53. So that's about 80, well, 90 pips in just New York session. And you can see that that's pretty much the case for most of your USD, even though here is the case where you see that volume comes in after Asian session. London starts, we push the market out, New York consolidates. So what seems to be the case is if there's a lack of volume in London session, then there's likely to be volume in New York session. So I would say if you live in Europe or possibly like South Africa, you'll be able to capitalize on both of these sessions here, because you guys pretty much wake up during London and throughout the afternoon is New York. So depending on what times you work, so if it's 9 to 5, then you probably won't see any type of volume while you get out of work, because that's when Asian session starts. So you have to keep that in mind. Okay. So let's see. It's 12 o'clock in London or South Africa. That's about 7 a.m. New York. So if you get a lunch break, then you could possibly catch this this overlap between London and New York. So yeah, essentially lunchtime is when we see that manipulation move happen, if it's going to happen from coming from London to New York. You see that shift in the market, and you see it's happening most of the time, unless we have volume in London that we're seeing here. All right. Then we have some consolidation throughout the market. And, the market doesn't always have to move. So with this yellow line here, this is just a division of the weeks. So this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, lack of liquidity. Wednesday, what do we have here? Right. Manipulation move during, that overlap during lunchtime. If you're in UK or South Africa, Um, for those in Eastern time zone, this is like around 8 a.m. As you can see on the bottom here, it was at 8 a.m. Okay, so as you can see, um, this tends to be the case each time that we have a lot of volume coming in at this time when New York session starts. Okay, and you'll see that pretty much is the case. So if you have a lot of volume coming into London, then we'll likely see a continuation or a retest in New York. And if we have low volume during London, then what could possibly be the case is New York will probably follow the same, or we could see some manipulation moves. If we see some manipulation moves during New York, and by New York I mean the very start of it, then we could see some volume coming in like this here, right? Manipulation move after London pushes it down, and then there's like this retest of the previous structure, which then is retested again, but in London. Okay, so just keep these in mind, and that's pretty much the case for most of it. So during that overlap, if you see that manipulation move, you see that wick inducing people to trying to short, and you see that volume pushing price back up, it's likely to continue, especially if we're in an uptrend here. Okay, so just keep in mind this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Here on Wednesday we have a lot of volume here in London, New York retest, right? Yet here we consolidate, right? And it seems like we're in a supply zone with looking at this here to the left. Once price got here, it just dropped. So we hit that supply zone again. Price is dropping once more. Okay. So the rules of supply and demand, um, you have to take that into consideration when you're looking at these sessions much more closely. Okay. So here, New York, sorry, London, a lot of volume in London, manipulation move, and that, you know, overlap between London and New York. We have this drop, continuation into Asian. London move, a lot of volume, right? Manipulation move, short. You could get a couple pips, You don't have to get, milk out the market. That could have been a scalp opportunity here. Just knowing the market behavior at this time. So again here, London, volume pushing it up, manipulation move, overlap. We get engulfing pattern, back down. New York continues pushing it down. We consolidate in Japan. So here in London, we have the manipulation move pushing it back up. So this would be a case where it would be best to enter here during London and just hold it, because what New York will do if you have volume, right, in London, and you could see that there was a manipulation move in New York. You can see price pushes back up, you know. that could serve as confidence that price is going to continue upwards. All right, and here we are approaching a week. Okay, so here we have manipulation move during London. New York continues to push it up. Manipulation move during the start of New York, engulfing pattern. Price comes to retest that supply here, supply zone, continues to drop it. And again, this is literally repetition. Manipulation move during the start of New York, push it up, right? And then a lot of volume during London. Manipulation move during the start of New York session, pushes it up. And this is just simply a pattern that repeats itself. So each pair is going to move in regards to what session pertains to it the most. So obviously Euro USD, the sessions that matter the most to it is going to be London and New York. That's why that London New York overlap is very important. If you're interested in possibly downloading this indicator, you could just type in here in indicators, you can just type in outcome reach, and then it will be session ranges first. Okay, simply it just divides price action by session. JP's Asian, allows London, owes the overlap between London and New York, NY is New York, and those numbers that you're seeing is essentially the pip range that occurred within that session there. Okay, so the overlap is simply the time in which London and New York is open, and up to like a certain point, London closes, and then it's just New York that's open. Okay, and then these divisions are simply the days. Yellow is weekly division. So that small area here, this is Sunday, and then from there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And if you like to see the days, you could just put the week separator, right? And then just minimize this a little bit. And then that would just make it easier for you to see everything. Okay. And also please do note that these days, there are temptations occurring on each pair during a certain day. It just takes some back testing, looking back into it, forward testing as well, and you'll be able to pick up on these. Look, this is this week, and as you can see, the manipulation occurred during New York, right? Except this was a news event on Thursday. And as you can see, there was a lot of volatility and volume happening here. So what did it do? Manipulated upside, then the downside, engulfing pattern, and then we push it up. Then we have some consolidation. Potentially on Euro USD, we could see a continuation of price action, pushing higher, right? So potentially there to this supply area. I just want to make sure that, okay, impulse correction, right? And then we're hitting this supply area zone. So we can have Euro USD come up and then drop from here. Okay. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.